MyMac Podcast 813. Last Intel Mac?
If we get time, let's get
okay.
You let me finish.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Will you let you start? Will you let me let you start?
MyMac Podcast 813. Could this be the last Intel Mac? Well, if yes, they're going to go out with a bang. Hi, everyone. Yes, it's the G-Men guy who's over there listening. He's smiling, making silly faces at me. And myself, Gaz. Yes, we're back again. I don't believe it. We just keep coming back and again and again and again. It's just astounding. Guy,
because
how are you?
The people demand that we do it.
They do that. Someone demands it. Yeah.
Someone
demands something.
Yeah.
And we just go the other way.
We demand medication. What?
Guy, how have you been this week? Have you got any news for us?
I do. Now, over the last couple of shows, I've talked about my wife and I possibly going on a monster tour.
Ooh.
You know, going to places where monsters are seen, and yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, because COVID has now blown up again in our area, and I say that like, oh, COVID has blown up again, and people are getting sick. Yay!
You're not.
No.
He's not being funny.
No, it is not funny. Facetious? No, I hate that word.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No. It's too much like feces, isn't it?
Well, that's kind of the way it feels sometimes. But because it has kind of it has kind of expanded out again, and some of the areas that we would want to go to where people talk about monsters are places where people don't necessarily wear masks or take proper precautions. So my wife, it's like, I see monsters. It's like, oh, okay, good job. So my wife and I have talked about it, and we're kind of like, well, I don't know if we want to go to those areas. So we're talking about kind of bringing it down a little bit, maybe just do more day trips. I actually have a book. And it's...
Can you read?
Well, there's pictures. So
that's good.
So it all works out.
It works.
And what it is it's most scenic drives in the United States. So I'm thinking instead of going to like this place in West Virginia where the is it the Lizard Man? No, that's in South Carolina. Mothman was in West Virginia. Right. Got it. Yeah. Instead of doing that, we'll just find nice scenic drives. Yeah. Or would that be more like a bat? I don't know. More
like a bat. Yeah.
Okay. But however, to get back on point, and you knew that I was going to eventually, we did get out of town yesterday, and it's why we didn't record yesterday. My wife's birthday was Wednesday. And now neither one of our sons live with us anymore. You know, we have one son who's down. They're both south of us, here up from Northern Virginia. Mm-hmm. And my older son, who just moved in down in Richmond, asked if we wanted to come down, and he also invited my other son, Peter, and his girlfriend down to Richmond to see their new place and spend some time there. So we did. And so we got out of town for a day, and it reminded me of why I do all the things when I go out of town. Now, because of the way traffic is in this area, I like to leave early, and we didn't. So we had lots of traffic. Basically, it turned a 2-hour trip into about a 3.5-hour trip. I like to bring snacks like nuts and pretzels to munch to deal with the monotony of driving, and we didn't. Mm-hmm. So we ended up stopping to get some nuts and pretzels and more coffee, which I also didn't bring that I normally do. And part of the reason why I didn't do any of this is because it was a relatively, now when you're talking about the United States and you say short trip, depending on who you're talking to, that could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And but in my case, 2 hours, that's kind of the cusp of a short trip. But what I didn't count on was all the traffic. And when you're sitting in traffic for an hour and a half.
I hate that.
Yeah, well, number one, whoever it was that invented the automatic transmission, you want to have their children because they were very, very smart. Because trying to drive a clutch, trying to drive a manual in heavy traffic sucks. I love a manual drive. I love a manual shift. It's so much fun. Not in traffic, because your left leg and your left foot by the end of it is just like, I'm going to kill you when we get home, and it usually does.
Just gives you exercise. That's all.
I like to think of it as just mind-numbing pain.
Okay, so did you take your Mac with you?
I did not.
Did you take your
going
iPhone
to.
with you?
I did have my iPhone because I've only been to my son's place once.
I was just trying to bring it back. That's all.
To like technology.
Well, trying.
Something to do with Apple. Come on, guy. No, I used like Apple Maps to get there.
Yay!
And Apple Maps to get back. So there was all kinds of technology, but I purposely
slowly.
And I probably shouldn't have. I left my laptop and I left my iPad at home because I really didn't think I was going to need it. But once we got down there and we started talking about dinner, well, you can't go anyplace for dinner. And there were now 6 of us, and the only thing we had to eat in the house was beer and German chocolate cake. So we had to order someplace, and we're all sitting around looking at this phone, going, "No, I'd like to get that right there, and I want those." And it was, if I had my my iPad, I think things would have been much smoother. And I will take it next time because it's not like it takes up a huge amount of room. What about you?
Well, like you got your hair trimmed last week, I got my hair cut this week. Again, I've got to say it was still a home cut. And I mean, who needs the hairdressers anyway?
No, nobody.
Beautiful.
At least you got something on top of your head.
We're still finishing off it's my headphones. Still finishing off the study downstairs. It's looking good. We actually ordered some furniture this weekend, but we have to put the old stuff back in because it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks before that furniture arrives.
Now, is this custom built or is it just store brand?
Yeah, it's store brand. It's kind of store brand.
Well, no, that's fine. The stuff, because I've been following you on the book faces, and seeing the pictures that you've been putting up. Like you had the pictures of you stripping the floors, and then I guess you varnished. You did like 2-3 coats of varnish.
I actually ended up doing 4.
You did 4 coats of varnish.
I did another one, and it's.
And once it dries and your shoe no longer comes off your foot when you walk into the room, I'm guessing it's going to be gorgeous.
I was stuck in the middle of the room.
Oh no!
No, I wasn't. I planned my exit route. I planned my.
You take a big stick and you just do like a pole vault from.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
So I'm still on MyMac in the upstairs spare room at this point in time. Yeah. You see, that's why I wanted to finish. And also, Guy, can this be right? I don't seem to be getting mouse delay on my Mac. Now I'm only on Wi-Fi. That's weird. It's just weird. So
wait. So you had your Mac.
Hang on, let me finish. So I'm gonna just, I'm gonna just keep an eye on it and see. I'm gonna leave everything as I do normally on, and just leave the iMac on because I know that I've done a couple of reboots for several different reasons. So I'm going to leave everything on and see if over the course of this week I get delay of the mouse. But I've got to say, I think this iMac's been on for a few days now, and normally it starts to slow down, but not getting it. So that is weird.
And that's over Bluetooth.
It's over Bluetooth still. No change there. But the only other thing is, I'm also in a different room with a lot less electrical equipment. Lot less.
So you'll need to keep an iMac on your MyMac.
I will. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's really awful.
Oh, it was.
So no new MyMac articles other than Boo Boo's picnic basket, which we talked about last week.
We
which was
did. We're not
the
gonna talk
review
about
by
him.
Yogi Bear. Yeah, I just did. But
Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear. So we're going to move on to something else. What is that other thing that we do in this section?
Snazzy's Gippets.
Yeah.
Gaz's Snippets. Smooth as fish.
Yeah.
Apple
Fish
Card.
scales.
COVID-19 assistance program extended into August. I think there's a lot of that going on at the moment all around the world with all sorts of companies. Dark Sky on Android shuts down following the Apple deal, so that has now finally disappeared.
No, not a surprise.
I'm not sure if I mentioned that last week or not. I don't think I did. If I did, my apologies. Oh, there's something which I haven't put in the show notes as well. So remind me when we get to the end, just say shares, Gaz. Shares. Right?
Shares gas.
Yeah, that absolutely. You need to say both things. Apple removes nearly 30,000 apps from the China App Store. Apple asked the UK. I nearly went into a rant about this, but I'm not going to. Apple asked the UK retail landlords for a 50% rent cut, not a rent cut, despite record sales. Apple TV Plus. I know, yes, everybody, people wouldn't have been going into the stores. I get it. The headline's a bit misleading, la 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 la, but they're still asking for it, and maybe it's fair. Apple TV Plus now free to watch on American Airlines flights. Guy, are you going on American Airlines soon?
I wouldn't fly American Airlines if you paid me.
Right, okay.
And it has nothing to do with COVID.
Okay, let's not dwell on that. So if
Them
you
and
are an
United.
American, let me finish. If you are Guy, stop it. If you are an American airline user, Apple TV is now free.
That's Apple TV. Listen to our podcast while you're on American Airlines because it'll make it less crappy.
Apple TV, Ted. Now I'd say lasso, but it's actually lasso, isn't it? This guy turns a viral video into a pretty good sitcom, apparently. Today at Apple, creative sessions return to the Apple stores in China. Apple are facing a $1.4 billion lawsuit by Chinese AI firm in a Siri patent battle. Would you believe it?
I would believe it. And I'm gonna. This is just wait.
Lawsuit, right?
I'm going psychic.
Yep.
This is going to play out in the Chinese courts with someone that managed to patent something Apple had already invented, but only in China.
Apple may split iPhone 12 release into two phases. Warren Buffett's $35 billion stake in Apple shares tripled in value to $104 billion.
Well, see, that's why they had to.
Does he really need all that money? Really?
Well, it's why Apple needed that rent cut, because Warren Buffett is sucking all the money out of the company.
He's sucking all of the money. 1,000
Damn
fake
you, Warren.
1,000. Will you let me finish?
I will.
2 minute interruptions. Come on.
Sorry.
1,000 fake iPhone. Will you stop it? I'm going to put you on mute in a minute. 1,000 fake. No, you carry on. 1,000 fake iPhones from Hong Kong used in an Apple Care fraud. Hope you didn't get caught out, folks. Apple Card now offers a 3% daily cash at Panera Bread for in-store and online orders. That's mainly based at you guys over in the States. Guys falling asleep. Apple Pay partner Boon are shutting down in October. That's not so good.
I've never even heard of them.
Let me just see if I can find that. So mobile banking service Boon today announced it will be discontinued service on October 3rd, 2020, as noted by appleticker.de. Boon was an Apple Pay partner in several European countries, offering virtual credit cards for contactless payment.
Okay, that's why I never heard of it.
Yeah, don't really need them, do you? If we're honest here. Okay. I've lost my place. Apple TV Plus originals here. Apple unveils Long Way Up with Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman. Now, actually, yeah, but he was doing these long before that. These are usually quite good series, actually. It's basically him and a very close friend of him, Charlie Borman. They get on their bikes and they do all sorts of tours. And I think he did Long Way Down before, and then Long Way Round, and now he's doing Long Way Up, which I think, are they doing that in the States? Can't remember where it is now, but they've been really good. Apple encourages developers to use iOS 14's new app Attest API to protect against security threats. Good.
Wait, is iOS 14 out yet?
No, but the developers are being encouraged to use.
Oh, okay. Developers. Okay, sorry.
Yes. Developers. And talking about Microsoft, the Mac Microsoft, which we weren't, the Mac
are now.
Microsoft Office 2016 users will lose 365 cloud services in October.
Not a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, they want to push people toward Office 365. So
yeah, of course they do. Apple signs the first look TV and movie deal with Leonardo DiCaprio's. I don't know why I said it like
because he's obviously Italian with a name like DiCaprio. He's like, hello, I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. And he goes like this all the time.
I thought he was a turtle anyway. Anyway, they've done
a
a
turtle?
deal with his.
Did you say he's a turtle?
I
don't understand.
Leonardo.
Oh, Leonardo. Oh, right. You thought he was a teenage mutant
ninja.
Turtle. Ninja.
I just
turtle.
said turtle, you see.
Okay.
Anyway, they've
I
done
needed
a deal
more
with,
than that.
Can I finish? They've done a deal with Leonardo DiCaprio, no Italian accents, Appian Way Production Company.
Appian Way.
Anyway, it's funny, isn't it? Apple and Appian Way, APP. Has he been a bit naughty there? Anyway, Apple shipped an estimated 14.3 million iPads worldwide in Q2 2020 amid the surging tablet market. So basically, apparently they've done really, really well. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, that comes from Canalys. Canalys? Yeah, I think it's Canalys.
Those guys are all wet.
Very good. Apple shares hit new high, not new hit. Apple shares. I've got to start again. Apple shares. Right, you all time Apple hit shares intra closing highs and it's something in there. Apple shares hit new all-time intraday and closing heights at $435.75. Apple are. I've moved on to that because that appears again. Apple are seeking to build China-based iPhone supply chain exclusively for the Chinese market. Not a great surprise.
Yeah.
Apple customers no longer the number one target for phishing attempts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure they aren't.
Apple have repurchased 51 million shares last quarter at $311 a piece.
See, what were those shares at again?
Well, we'll come to that later.
Okay. All right. Good.
Later. So remember $311. Phil Schiller moving on to become Apple Fellow.
Hello.
Wozniak is taking over as marketing SVP.
I'm an Apple Fellow.
So
I don't know why they.
I've repeated that a little bit further down here, and I've said, blah, 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 blah. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Phil Schiller advances to Apple Fellow. That's a piece from Apple themselves. What that means, I've got no idea.
What they used to call it was retirement.
Yeah. Now, isn't Guy Kawasaki a fellow as well? I think Guy Kawasaki.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be out there selling Apple at every opportunity he can, isn't he?
Yeah. Except and he'll still get paid by the company, but it'll be like he'll wake up in the morning and say, "Do I have to go to work today?"
No. Hang on a minute. Do I have to go to work today? Let me find him. Where is he? Just there.
No.
Yeah. That's the deal.
That's the deal. Okay.
That's a good deal.
Apple teams up with UCLA on mental health study using Apple Watch, iPhone, and Bedit sleep tracker.
I don't understand this because if they really, really, really wanted to do a study on mental health, all they'd have to do is listen to the MyMac.com podcast. What's wrong with these people?
Apple shares hit new all-time closing high at $438.66.
Wow.
Wait there, guy.
Wait for it.
As Apple nears a $2 trillion market value, the company's share of S&P 500 hits a milestone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, they just have to take it and get it repaired.
They will. That's true. Bank of America hikes Apple shares target to $470 and downgrades the stock to neutral. I don't get that. Quite.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna go way up and make a lot of money, but don't buy it. No, it's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Not yet.
Because we're buying it. Automated stake by Apple kills all Mac developer apps. Now, did you hear about this?
Yeah, there was a developer who had, I can't remember what apps that he had, but somebody accidentally hit a button someplace, and not only did it kill all of his apps, but it also sent him a notice going, "We're killing all of your apps." But and the thing is, when Apple does that on purpose,
Charlie Munro it was. Munro.
They never tell you why. They hardly ever say why. It's just like, yeah, we're dumping all your apps, and you're like, why? And they're like, you should already know. You should know those things. We're Apple.
Yeah.
We can't be everywhere.
And guess what next news piece came into my stream after that?
Apple shares dropped like crazy.
Apple shares hit new all-time closing high at $440.25.
Huh. Well, it can't go any higher than that.
Wait for it. Apple shares vertical shot on iPhone short film by Damien Chazelle.
Ooh.
Apple's new high-end 27-inch iMac is more pro than the iMac Pro, and we might hear a little bit more about the iPad in a minute. Yeah. Goldman Sachs analyst Rod Hall is an awful Apple analyst.
Well, he's so busy with that emu.
Emu. Emu? What's an emu?
Emu. Yeah.
Emu.
It's like an animal that's really depressed. Emu. Mental health. MyMac podcast. Remember those things.
Apple surpasses. I did say this last week. I thought, oh no, actually no. What I haven't said is that I was on Let's Talk Apple last week. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
So quick. Yeah, Apple. Yes,
he keeps doing that show like during the week, and it's like I can't do it.
He keeps doing it once a month. Apple surpasses Saudi Aramco as the world's most valuable company, and then guess what, Guy?
Tell me.
The last time this
well, you said
section,
that
4 times ago. Yeah. Apple shares hit new all-time intra and closing highs of $455.61.
But don't buy it according to Bank of America because
because now it's only going to go up to 470. They might be right, Apple now worth 43 times Dell's market value, Guy.
They should buy Dell and close it down. That's what they should do.
We used to have we used to do a lot of things with that. Was it Dell? It was Dell, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Michael Dell that back in the 90s was like, well, they should just shut the company down and give the money back to the shareholders.
43 times their value. Apple confirms cloud gaming services like xCloud and Stadia violate the App Store guidelines.
Yeah.
Apple
because they basically want to have like their own app stores within the applications. That's what the problem is.
Apple and T-Mobile to supply 1 million iPads to California students. Not to me. Tim Cook pledges relief aid to Beirut. That was dreadful. Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything.
Can I
like
rephrase
that?
Can I, for anyone listening, what happened was awful. The fact that they've pledged a load of relief is good.
Yeah, that's fine. the money part giving to people when they're down and out. That's the good part. It's the fact that these people are now down and out, and the reasons behind why they're down and out. That's the bad thing. Yeah. See, we're not so challenged.
Apple Arcade gains Game of Thrones Tale of Crows game.
Okay, it's a game. Okay, I was sitting there thinking, is there going to be another Game of Thrones show?
No,
God.
Apple Arcade gains Game of Thrones. Apple Arcade, Guy.
Only Crows. I thought that said... never mind.
Only the Apple TV box works with HBO Max and Peacock. No idea.
Peacock is the new streaming service from... I know. They're so annoying. They really are. My wife and I went to a plantation in South Carolina a number of years ago.
Yeah, but if you're going to go to a peacock plantation, that's
no.
what
It
happens.
wasn't. It wasn't a peacock plantation. It was like this preserved historic thing. Well, they were there, but everywhere you walk around, you'd kind of look at them and go, "They're so pretty." It's like, okay, over it.
Yeah. Tim Cook's leadership style has reshaped how Apple staff work and think. It's
kind of like, so that's a good thing. You will do things the way I want you to.
That's the really bad Tim Cook impression.
It is. He doesn't sound anything like that. That we know of.
Apple takes this. Scratchy head time on this one. Apple takes legal action against a small company with a Pear logo. Have you seen the Pear logo?
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like the Apple logo. The only thing that even comes close is like the tiny little leaf that goes down.
But it's inserted as well, isn't it? It's like it's got an outline. So Apple,
yeah, somebody basically
calm down.
Tim Cook, you need to go to your lawyers and say, you will not go after this company.
I never knew. I never knew that Tim Cook was German. I never knew.
Well, if he's from
German.
Louisiana.
Oh, so he could be German. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so everything's all explained now.
Okay. Apple returns fire in the Koss AirPods patent infringement battle. Apple is firing back against Koss's patent lawsuit with a filing of its own. Here we go. Bish, bash, bosh. Bing, bang. Okay, this just made me laugh. The British Army does not excel at spreadsheets.
Good title.
The soldiers' newly announced promotions are revoked after a sorting snafu. Okay, so no,
see, they
really
didn't hit the little button that says, okay, if you're going to sort this column, you've got to sort all the other columns with it as well.
I'm really not bothered about that.
Okay.
As long as you can shoot straight, that's fine.
Yeah. That's the point of it.
I've just got to do a filter and a sort in my spreadsheet.
Yeah. What? There seems to be a problem with making sure that people get bullets.
Anyway.
Is that going to be an issue?
No.
No?
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah. And that's the end of Gaz's snippet.
No, shares Gaz. Shares Gaz.
That's fine. That's the end of Gaz's snippet.
Oh, okay.
Now, the shares Gaz bit. Last week we
had
were
to write
talking.
It down.
You did, didn't you? Last week we spoke about shares, right? And then we said if you had one share, back in where it was, and then you multiplied it up. Actually, it doesn't quite work that way, does it? Because when you split shares, you're splitting the value of the shares.
Yes.
So that you get so you don't get 4 times 400 because that's what we were doing.
No, that wasn't what I was doing.
No, it's what I did though.
Oh.
That's what I
Okay.
did. That's what I did. So, folks, get it. Yeah, slap wrists. Not that anyone noticed.
No,
it was so
nobody said
funny.
a word.
Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything actually, because I actually thought I was being funny. Now they realise I'm just being stupid.
by going, I made a mistake, and I'm going. Not only did I make the mistake the week before, but I'm going to compound the mistake by telling you that I made a mistake this week.
Yeah, because I'm good like that.
No, I always do that. It's like, because here's the thing, Gaz.
What?
If you make a mistake and it's funny, and you don't know that you made the mistake, you come back the next week and you say that you made the mistake, and it's funny all over again. That's the part that matters.
Very true. Guy,
yes.
take us out.
Okay.
Before I make any more share mistakes.
We must, here, Tim Cook. Yes, I'm sorry. What was that, Mr. Cook? We will stop all these mistakes from happening. And I don't know if anyone is going to be offended by the fact that I'm making Tim Cook a German. Probably somebody somewhere.
That was not German.
No, I don't know what that was. I don't know. Yeah, if you're actually going to be offended by something I say in a really horrible accent, seek help.
I'll tell you what.
Meanwhile,
back on the real planet Earth,
somewhere. Well, is that what this is? Oh, actually, before we go,
is that what this is?
That's what this is.
No.
Tim Robertson.
Yes.
Of MyMac fame. He was the one that created this podcast.
Hang on a minute. Whoa. You can't do that to me. You cannot do that to me. Now I'm really, really upset.
Why?
Because you just can't do that to me. Right, do that again.
Tim Robertson. Oh. he had posted something in on the book faces.
Right.
The face of books. And it had something to do with MySpace. The old social networking system that is, I mean, it's still around, but everybody's like, I'm sorry, what? My what? But he said something that happened on MySpace. And I came back with, well, obviously it can't be true because I always heard that the My Moon landings were fake and that my Earth was flat because MySpace. Okay, everyone.
Do you know? Do you want?
It was actually a lot funnier in my head than the way it came out. Yes,
Guy, that went completely flat.
It did. My flat.
You what did there? My flat.
Yeah. My flat. Yeah. So everyone, please stand by. Forget that I just said that entire thing.
Funnier in my head.
It was so much in my head. I was like, that's going to kill. It's going to be so great. And then as it came out of my mouth, the other part of my brain, the logical part of my brain was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard today.
That was your devil side saying, say that.
Yeah. Go ahead. And because, it's going to be so great. No. And then going, too late.
He's opened his mouth.
He sees it. Hello? It's my phone. Everyone, please stand by. Just stand by. And we'll be right back. Oh, thank God I was recording all that. And welcome back to the MyMac.com podcast. This particular segment, oh, stop it, you. We are going to talk about what is possibly, Gaz, the last Intel iMac ever. Ever. Maybe. We don't really know for sure. They may have a few more, and then we'll be like, well, is this the last one, or is that the last one? But this is the latest one to come out, so this is what we're going to talk about. It's actually, if this had come out before WWDC, people's jaws would have dropped and hit the floor by how amazing the specs are on this machine. And then they would have risen up in anger because other than the memory on the 27-inch iMac, you can do nothing to update these machines at all. There's nothing you can do internally. So, but we'll skip past that, and we'll just talk about the computer itself. So, as usual, there's two models, a 21.5 inch and a 27 inch.
Yep. The
21.5 inch has a 4K display, 4096 by 2304. Where do they come up with those numbers? 23. It can't be 2300.
2304.
It's got to be.
It's algorithmically specific.
Okay. Well, that's the resolution. Prices are actually pretty amazing. $1099 to $1499 for the three listed models that are standard. You can if you took every single option except for keyboard and mouse and adding software, this machine would max out at $3,050. So, and
can I just jump in?
Yeah.
4096 by 2304 is 1024 by 576 times 4. Yeah, you're
Did I tell you what I said? Did I tell you what I said to Tim Robertson on Facebook?
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Okay, no. That's fine. Will you let me finish? I never get to say that. I never get to say that.
You don't, do you?
It's actually quite refreshing and freeing. I feel like a new man. It starts with a 2.3 gigahertz. My man, going to my moon. Dual core.
With MyMac.
With MyMac to a 3.0 gigahertz.
We're talking about the 21.5 inch.
We are
4K display.
Are we? Are we now?
Are we?
Okay. 3 gigahertz 6-core processor i7, which is no slouch. It maxes out at 32 gigs of RAM. Comes standard with 8. And this is what I don't get. Okay, they all come standard with a 256 gig SSD, which is fine. Yep. And it only goes up to a 1 terabyte SSD, which makes no sense because they're all really kind of the same size.
Yeah.
And Gaz, you can still put a Fusion drive in this thing.
But I thought they'd stop doing that.
This is the part that kills. This is the part right here that kills. The Fusion drive is limited to 1 terabyte.
What?
What difference does it make if it's 1 or 3 terabytes as far as the Fusion drive goes? I don't get it. I don't understand that at all.
That is weird.
Okay. They come with an integrated Intel graphics, and you can take that up to a Radeon Pro 560X with 4 gigabytes of dedicated RAM, 4 USB, 2 Thunderbolt. So the exterior is not that much different from the one that it's, replacing. The one that is really kind of amazing is the 27-inch 5K. And just for you guys, it's 5,120 by 2880 resolution. So you need to divide that by 4. Check that.
You've got to divide. No, you've got
to divide by 5. Yes.
Which is 1024, guy. 2880 divided by 5 is, guess what? 576.
Wow. It's almost like it's the same with the 4K, except it's not.
It's almost like it's a 1K multiplied.
Almost. That close. It is that close. Oh, prices. There are 3 listed prices. Models range from $17.99 to $22.99. If you max this thing out without upgrading keyboard, mouse, or adding software, $8,800.
Yeah.
But that
small change.
Oh my God! I don't know if I've still got the. Do I still have that up? I do. Know. Okay. Shh, stop it, you. So that gets you the whatever the hell nano textured glass is.
Ooh.
That takes you to a 3.6 gigahertz 10th core 10th generation or 10 core 10th generation i9. 128 gigs of RAM. And a Radeon Pro.
That's quite a lot, isn't it?
That's a lot of RAM. Radeon Pro 5700 XT with 16 gigs of dedicated memory. Now, this is the part that made me go, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
8 terabytes of internal SSD storage. No Fusion drive is available for this thing. And 10 gigabit Ethernet.
And that costs over here, if you add, so if you go from 512 gigabyte SSD to 8 terabytes, that's an extra £2,400.
Yeah. That's weird. It's only $1,200. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Hold on. $2,400.
Yeah.
But that's still a lot of money. But that's a lot of storage. And I would never recommend anyone do that with a machine like this, because if anything goes wrong with that computer, everything that's inside that computer is useless. You're much better off maybe going up to, like, and this is just my opinion, going up to like a terabyte of storage so that you got enough room for all of your apps and a little bit of leftover space for doing stuff. And then having the rest of your storage connected up through Thunderbolt, because you're still going to have the speed, especially if you're going all SSD. So, but you can put up to 8 terabytes of freaking storage in this beast. And you can also put in a Radeon Pro 5300 with, sorry, let me rephrase that. It comes standard with a Radeon Pro 5300 with 4 gigabytes graphics, and that's for the absolute, all the models going. And you can upgrade that to a Radeon Pro 57 XT.
57 with 8 gigabytes of
with
GDR6.
16 gigabytes.
Yeah.
16 gigabytes.
No, yeah, that's what you can go up to. Sorry, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, four USB to Thunderbolt.
So basically what I've done is I've gone for a 1 terabyte, okay, with a 5708 gig of GDR6 memory, right? So the Radeon Pro, not the XT. So why is that more expensive? That's just seems odd, actually. So they've got, in the UK, they've got a Radeon Pro 5500 XT with 8 gigabyte of GDR.
Yeah, that's the standard.
The next one up, the next one up is at Radeon Pro 5700 without XT, with 8 gigabytes of memory.
Yeah, and that's another.
But that's more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
It's obviously it's 200 more because you went from a 5500 to a 5700.
Anyway, stop. Hang on. And then I've gone 64 gig of memory, right? I've gone down to the 3.8 8 core, and that knocks $5,000 off the price. So actually, it's reasonable. 3,000, $4,000.
Well, as long as you're not adding like insane amount of storage.
Yeah, that's the thing, because you can get external storage. Anyway, apparently this machine flies. Still only got 4 USB ports and 2 Thunderbolts, but
that's what Thunderbolt ports are for.
Who's counting?
Well, obviously we just were. If this had come, like we said, if this had come out before WWDC, people would have just lost their minds, because this is as close to the iMac Pro. And the big difference between this machine and the iMac Pro, the biggest difference is the iMac Pro uses Intel Xeon processors instead of i7 and i9 processors. So, I'm sure somebody much smarter than me, like how hard is that to find, could tell you what I was like, okay, what the difference would be between a 10 core i9 versus a 10 core Xeon. The other thing is, with the iMac Pro, I think you could go all the way up to like an 18 core Xeon, or maybe it was like 2 10 cores. It was some ridiculous amount of cores that you could get with the iMac Pro. And this is the kind of machine that if you're somebody that's like rendering animation, you work for Pixar or you work for Disney or Universal Studios or whoever, and you're rendering 3D animation, the iMac Pro and the Mac Pro are the machines that, those kinds of people are given to do those kinds of jobs. Yep. Well, now here we have an iMac for really less money that would still be able to do those kinds of jobs and do them well, I think. So if this is the last hurrah for Intel Macs, I think this is probably a fitting machine.
Can I just say it's definitely going to be the last Intel iMac?
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. We may still see Intel Mac Pros, MacBook Pros. Well, we may still see an Intel Mac Pro because I mean those just came out last year, and considering the use case for those machines, like we were just talking about, they may keep those Intel for a while. That may be one of the very last ones that they would, if they ever, kind of convert over to Apple Silicon. Silicon. Sorry, Marcus.
Silicone.
Legato Leviosa. Leviosa. Couchio. People who watch Saturday Night Live will get that.
So if you need a Mac, folks, go out and buy, and you want an iMac and you've got the money to spend, then these are still going to be some rip-roaring Macs. But if you're waiting for Apple Silicon, then you're gonna have to wait for a little while longer and
at least a year.
Put the money in the bank and hope that share prices continue to go up. Oh, it's
and
Apple,
that your current machine is still working well. And that's really what it comes down to. Does your current Mac do everything that you want it to do? Yeah, I'm on a 2017 2.4 gigahertz 4-core i7 or i9. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. iMac, 27-inch iMac, 8 gig video card. It's freaking fantastic. I love this machine. When the new silicone iMacs come out, or Macs come out, they would have to be pretty spectacular for me to just go ahead and jump in. But I'm anticipating that my next Mac will not be an Intel Mac.
You see, there's going to be two things that happen with those new Macs. They are going to so over-engineer those new silicon Macs because they need to make sure that it hits the ground running and there's no issues and it absolutely flies and everybody loves it. And it'll be a fantastic buy and nobody will be able to get one because everybody's saying it's a great machine. So if you can get in early, great. Or it's going to be the other end. It's going to be a complete flop and everyone's going to be moaning. I have a feeling it's going to be the former rather than the latter in those.
Yeah, well, I think back to the first Intel Macs, and they were Core Solo for the most part. You had the Mac Mini, and I think the original iMacs were Intel Core Solo chips, and they were a little underwhelming, as I recall from back in the day. But I think most people bought them just because they were the first Intel Macs.
Intel, yeah. Whereas, okay. Well, we'll see.
So we'll see. The difference, I think, is when they released the Intel Macs, most everything that was related to those Macs had to be done through emulation because almost everything was related to PowerPC. And with the new with the new Apple Silicone Macs, they're really, really stressing with the new operating system how much iOS and iPad OS goodness is already baked into those machines before they ever hit the ground. So I think that's going to be the big difference. They're just going to work better as the new version of, the new face of Apple Mac computers versus when they went to Intel. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
Cool. Good.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so we're going to get a few more, but I think we're going to get a few more Macs before. I don't think this is the last Intel, but it's definitely the last iMac Intel, definitely.
I am nodding my head.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
Okay. Now. Yeah, I carried on there, Sam. Will you let me finish?
Yeah.
But that's not yet. A favorite hidden iPhone feature is the ability to have Siri read highlighted text out loud. This feature is known as speak selection. Well, it's now voiceover, to be honest with you. Now, on older versions, you can enable this feature by going into the Settings app, General Accessibility, Speech, and toggle on speak selection. However, now I believe that you have to go into accessibility, which is in your settings mode in iOS. And in there you have voiceover, and then you can turn voiceover on. And then when you select some text, maybe in any app, you can then, when you hold it, you'll get a new option. It'll then come up with that option for Siri to actually speak that text. I've used this a couple of times, and it's sometimes it can be really useful. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying, but actually, if you've got a bit of text that you want to have read out to you, if it's quite a long section you can't be bothered to read, Guy, want pictures.
Pictures.
Then
pictures.
Just go into here. But as I say, it's changed from its position. So if you're on the latest version, you go into settings, you go into accessibility, and you go into voiceover. Turn it on. Yeah.
I like it. Nodding heads.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have a pick up a penguin?
I do, and it should come as a surprise to everyone that it's audio related. I know, crazy, right? One of the things that I have kind of graduated to over the years as I've worked with audio is to go from like a desktop stand, which, I mean, and they're fine, to a boom arm. And I have used many different types. A lot of them are just garbage. They have like these springs that as you move them around, you can actually hear the springs going back and forth. And some of the very best ones, like, well, you can't see it, or the people probably, I don't know if they'll be able to see it. This is a Heil PR40 mic that I'm using, and it's on a Heil stand. And the great thing about this stand, and that's not what the pick is that it's very smooth as you move things around. And I really, I really like this stand. However, it's also very pricey. So I'm always looking for something that's a little less money than that. And what I found is two different stands, and I'm not sure how this is going to work. Let me move this one down just a little bit. These are made by this company called InnoGear. And I've had this one right here for a while. Can you see it, Gaz?
Yes.
Okay. And it looks very similar to this one by Heil. However, the action isn't nearly as smooth. I mean, it holds everything up very well. You could put a very heavy microphone on this, and it would hold it up in whatever direction that you wanted to put it. Sideways, backwards, forwards, whatever. But in order to manipulate it, unlike the Heil one, you've got to, it takes a little more effort. But it's also like 1/3 the cost. So, and this one here, the one I just showed you that still has a Rode microphone on it, it's about $52, and it reaches out about 28 inches. Now, this other one cost about $60. However, the arms are much, much longer. This is also by InnoGear, and it maxes out at about 38 inches in length. So you've got about 10 more inches that you can move this around. And there we go. How you move it around and where you want it is really a matter of preference. One of the things that I've done for years with these types of microphone stands is have it come over my monitor. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit it. And either point the microphone toward me or have it like on its side and speak into it that way. But one of the things that I'm starting to experiment with instead is have one of these types of stands stretch all the way out underneath the monitors and then pop up from there. Because one of the things, and you can see it here as I'm speaking, the microphone stand occasionally kind of gets in the way.
Absolutely. Obliterates
Whereas,
your picture.
Yeah, then they can't see like my wonderful hair. But if it's coming from and my hat, because I'm bald. So if I instead have it come underneath and then pop up, the only thing that you may see is the microphone itself. So these are two microphone stands from InnoGear. One is 28 inches and the other one is 38 inches if you completely max it out. And they're relatively reasonably priced, especially when you compare it to something like the Heil or the Rode boom arms, which are much more expensive, but also at the same time just work so much better. So it's form. Sometimes it's form over function over price, and you just have to determine which one is more important to you. What about you,
Cool.
Gaz?
Okay, well, first of all, I've got a small correction on my tip.
Uh-oh.
I said voiceover. You still go to accessibility, but it's spoken content. Because the tip that I wrote in the show notes actually was the old version, and I had to correct that, and I'd gone to voiceover. So actually you go into settings, folks, then you go into accessibility, and you go on to spoken content, and then speak selection. So that's the way to get that little highlight. And then when you highlight the text, then you get the option. So, yeah. Okay, correction. Boing. Yeah,
Guys, you are absolutely right.
I am now. Yes,
Now
I am
he is.
Now I am. Yes, yes. Anyway, I haven't really got a pick this week other than there's an app called Nextdoor. And I'll tell you what, that Nextdoor. Oh, it's in the States as well, is it? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
This is a great app. If you want comedic value, it is great. I there are something. The other day there was someone talking about something, and then I tell you what, they got ripped into, and I just sit there reading these comments, and it was hilarious. Now,
It's like
really
local Twitter. It's like local Twitter.
It's brilliant. Get Nextdoor, sign up for it, folks. It's just hilarious.
And don't
Sometimes-
use your real name, whatever
don't
you do.
use your real name. No, I think you have to. But anyway,
Yeah.
if you can verify yourself, but go in. Just don't be abusive, because obviously it's local, so people know who you are.
Yeah.
But actually, it's hilarious. But it can also be quite useful as well.
Yes.
There are some things in there where, people say that they're giving, and if you ask for something, people are really helpful on it. But if anything political, anything about local utilities, anything like that, it's just fantastic. And it just made me laugh so much. So
what you do, you go into the app, and all you do is type Boris Johnson, Donald Trump, throw it out there, run away.
And then run away.
That's all you got to do.
Come back. Yeah, it's funny and it can be useful. So, but please, folks, don't take it seriously.
No,
whatever you do,
unless you're giving. And on that note, what I've seen with Nextdoor in our area, people have been able to find lost pets.
Yeah,
people have been
absolutely.
able to
incorrectly
give away
parcels.
furniture.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
yes,
all of that.
Yeah. So it's meant for good. Its actual intention is good. However, it is very funny when people start trying to get political, because some people just can't do anything in their lives other than be political.
Well, it's not even political stuff. Sometimes it's people, they put stuff on there and they're complaining about kids hanging about in the park. Hey, were you never a kid? It's just incredible. And you see the responses.
Yeah.
You then get the people defending the kids. Then you get the people who are hating the kids. And then you get nobody in the middle. It's just brilliant. Yeah. It's just brilliant. I love it.
But be very, very careful.
Don't respond.
Don't, especially when it comes to kids, don't actually identify the kids. Because regardless of your intentions, that's wrong.
Yeah.
R-O-N-G. Wrong.
Oh, yeah. No W.
Yeah, no W, because that would be a win.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know where
Let's move on. Going with that.
That's a great app, by the way. If you would like to support my never-ending obsession with audio gear, so many misgivings, you can help support me and my website, which is, we'll talk about that later. Patreon.com/MacParrot, Coffee.com/MacParrot, PayPal.me/MacParrot is where you can make a donation. Go to YouTube. Look at a video and then like, share, subscribe. Did you see that, Gaz? Should I do that again?
Yeah, I did.
Like, share, subscribe, and then smash that like button. Smash it. I see the kids there on the YouTubes do that all the time. They're like, share, subscribe, and smash that bell. Those kids of today, they don't know. We had to walk 15 miles to smash a like bell in our day. Uphill, both ways. Real bell. Yeah, it was a real bell at Long John Silver's. Yeah, that's a United States thing. Never mind.
Move on.
Moving on. Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you, my God, how would they do it?
Ever so easy. Send an email to gaz@mymac.com. That's J-Z
Guys!
at mymac.com, or on the Twitters, twitter.com/gazmaz, J-Z,
Guys?
M-A-Z.
Gosh.
You can also send a Twitter on the Twitters to Guy and Gaz. That's G-U-Y
Why?
A-N-D
Guys.
G-A-Z.
Cars.
Yes, absolutely. You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com. That's FWDBACK
Okay.
at mymac.
My.
Now,
Guy
Yes.
was paid at 75 grand.
He
Oh,
was
no, he
not.
no, he wasn't. No,
Do you
Should've
know
been.
it was a guy?
We do.
we don't. We don't.
Do we?
I like to go with Guy.
I would
No,
love to go with.
I'm looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So,
This guy's trying to slip me a Mickey.
oh
Yeah.
dear, that's not very
Ooh.
good, is it?
No.
Guy says,
What?
He does.
What?
Pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain.
They
Yeah.
never do.
his name was Guy. No fooling.
So
He's
much
the
better.
guy.
Now, is there two of them?
Guy.
Guy?
Yeah, one out of
Yeah.
each ear, definitely.
Guy
Schizophrenic.
You remember Guy?
If you want,
An email from Guy.
how would they do it?
Well, first you'd have to go through that long, elaborate process. Go to the email client of your choice and type in Guy. I know, crazy. At mymac.com. You can also follow me over there on the Twitters. I am Mac Parrot and careful, Vert Shark. Good enough. Over there on the Twitters. I was like, click, done. That's it. You can also, what else can you do? You can go to my website, vertshark.com, where all of the stuff that I do, other than the audio part of the mymac.com podcast, all the videos and other things are over there at vertshark.com. You can also do things like call us on our Skype number.
Have you lost your place?
I kind of did there for a minute. It was kind of like, I know I'm there someplace. Our Skype number is 1 or +1 outside of the United States, 703-436-9501. That number, Gaz, again, for everyone other than Marcus and Greg from North Carolina, is 1 or +1, 703-436-9501. And if for whatever crazy reason you just feel like dialing a 1 or a +1 is oppressive, well, go right to your Skype application. Yeah, I don't think that's like what do they call that? ASL, American Sign Language. It's just dial then. I don't know where I was going. 703-436-9501. That's all you got to do. And Gaz, this is the part of the show.
What?
Where I say thank you to everyone who has downloaded and listened to the mymac.com podcast. Both Gaz and I really appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to listen and or watch. It's so great that you've done so. And I think that means that, Gaz, we're good enough.
We are.
We are. For 11 plus years, we've been good enough and smart enough. Yeah, it's like Apple stock. It keeps coming back to bite us in the ass.
Yeah.
And that, doggone it, Gaz, people just like us.
Guy parlait beaucoup de matériel audio. Pourquoi fait-il simplement un podcast audio à la place? Ici, parce que ne sait pas vraiment grande chose.
How did you know it was French?
Fine.
home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home. So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and I go home.